Hello and welcome to the Sarah Seams podcast. This is episode 22. My name is Sarah. I'm coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, where I live with my partner Troy and our cats Alex and Moo. It is a gloomy, cool Saturday here in Columbus and all the leaves have changed. It is a very fall day. Fall is in full effect. I have lots to share with you today, not as much as last time. I think that was gonna possibly be a record long video for me, but I do have 2 finished objects, 5 whips, and a few acquisitions, and I'm also gonna be announcing the giveaway winner today from the giveaway that we did on the last episode. So it is all knitting today, no sewing content right now. I will be talking about the WestKnits MKAL in the whip section, but I'll be sure to give plenty of a heads up on that. And I'm not wearing, oh, nope, I always forget, social media. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah_Seams or on Ravelry at Sarah Ribble. And I am not wearing any me-mades today, so I'm just gonna jump right into my finished objects. Like I said, I have 2. So the first are a pair of socks. Oops. Already dropping things. We're a minute in. Good start. Okay, the first are a pair of socks, and I had one done on the last episode, but I have now finished the second one. So I think this is the one I had done on the previous episode, and this is the one that I just finished. So hopefully you can see the stripes are like kind of perfectly inverted, which I didn't really do on purpose. It just kind of worked out that way. So I think they're really cute, like mismatched stripes. The yarn is Nomadic Yarns. Their Tweedy sock base. It is 85% superwash BFL, 15% Donegal Nep, and the color is Space Dad. So you can see the tweed, the little tweedy bits coming through there. And the BFL, the Superwash BFL is interesting. I've never used that before, but I like it. It has a nice like sheen to it. That's probably not coming across, but in hand it's very soft and it has a little bit of shine. These are the Thickness Reverse Socks by Summerlee Knits. They're part of her Thickness sock set. So the cuff, heel, and toe are knitted in rib or stockinette as usual, and then you flip your knitting inside out to knit the leg and the foot. So they are reverse stockinette. And these are DK weight. I did hold the inner pole and outer pole strands of the yarn cake together, and that created a really interesting marl effect with the self-striping. So in certain spots like the peach and the yellow, you have where the 2 strands were the same color, you get a more solid stripe, but then in between you have these more marled stripes. So that was kind of a fun little experiment. And like I said, you can see, especially in these 2 stripes right here, that on the other sock, like on this one, they're yellow, but on this one, they're the peach. So they are kind of just like perfectly inverted and mismatched. And after blocking, they look really nice. So I will definitely knit this again, this pattern. I have been into the DK weight socks lately. I think after I did all of the Sorry Nordland summer sock knit along designs, which are pretty involved, I've just been really craving some like simple mindless socks. So these were a little bit of a more interesting design just because you're doing the reverse stockinette, but I think they still turned out very simple and wearable. So these are going to be a Christmas gift for Troy. Add them to the sock box. Okay, next one is a hat, also for Troy. Both my finished objects this week are for Troy, so he's lucky right now. So I knit, on the last episode, I showed my Tremblant toque. I'm sorry, I'm saying toque, but I feel like it's toque. If I have any Canadian viewers, let me know. Is it pronounced toque or toque? Let me know. I don't want to say it wrong. I feel like it's toque, but that feels very unnatural for me to say it that way, but I feel like it's toque. So the Tremblant toque, I had knit one for my coworker who was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and a few of us in the office made hats for her to wear during her chemo treatment. And Troy saw it and really liked the design and asked if I would make one for him. So I have now made one for him as well. Is that the back? Yes, it is. Let's look at the front. Okay, so it's not blocked yet, so it's a little bit, you know, squidgy. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's not, you know, perfectly evened out and everything, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to block it because it fits pretty well right now and it'll just naturally kind of settle over time. I think he wears his hats a lot and kind of hard, so it'll be fine. But yeah, so this one is a different color placement. So in the first version I knit, I used like a light pink as the main color, and then navy, where I here have the darkest gray, and then there was like a medium gray that was where I here have cream. So this is a little bit of a different color layout, but I really like this pattern. I really like the simple color work, and that the whole thing is not color work. You know, there's like just enough for it to be fun and interesting, and then you just have to knit a little chunk of stockinette and then you're on to the decreases. So it's a really quick pattern and it fits really well, and I just think that it's really a nice way to practice some color work or just use up like little bits and bobs. So the main yarn here, oh, that's what I dropped, the ball band. So the main yarn, the red, is Yarnalia Marvel. The color is Ruby Shoes. It's 60% superwash wool, 20% acrylic, and 20% nylon. And I picked this up in Eugene, Oregon when I was out there visiting my cousin at the local yarn store there called Cozy. So yeah, honestly, I kind of want to knit one of these for myself. Ooh, you know what? I have some really pretty natural alpaca in shades of brown. That would be really pretty. I kind of want to make one for myself too. Really good pattern. The pattern is by Diana Walla for Espace Tricot, and this is the size small. I would say if your head is bigger than 22 inches, you would probably want to size up to the medium. The color work does restrict the stretch a little bit, not a lot, but it's enough that it's, you know, it's not going to be as forgiving as like a rib knit hat would be. But yeah, really like this pattern. Troy will be happy he gets to have this now. He wanted it yesterday, and I told him he had to wait until I could show it on the podcast. So he will be excited about that. And that is it for my FOs. I've been trying to keep working on these smaller projects, but the Stephen West MKAL has definitely been taking up the bulk of my knitting time. So I will jump into whips. I have a few other small things to show, and then I'll be talking about that. And after whips is when I will announce the giveaway winner. So whips. I cast on 2 pairs of socks this morning. Like I said, I finished the ones I just showed you for Troy, and I've just been wanting plain vanilla socks. So I cast on a fingering weight pair and a DK weight pair, and I will show you those now. So the first one are the fingering weight pair, and let me show you the color. It's neon pink. So at my office, we're gonna be having a like holiday spirit week as partially just for fun and partially as a fundraiser for our coworker with breast cancer. So there's gonna be like a $10 buy-in to participate, and one of the days is a pajama day. So I bought these because I don't have like fancy pajamas that I could like wear to work, you know, like, so I bought a pair of like cute Christmas PJs that are like black ground, and then they have like colorful plaid, but I would say primarily like pink and red are the plaid colors, like hot pink. And I got a pair of black fuzzy slippers to wear with them as well. And I thought I need socks, like cute socks to wear with my slippers. So I obviously need hot pink neon socks to wear with my slippers to match my pajamas, so it can be a whole complete look. So that is why I cast these on. Our Spirit Week is not until the beginning of December, so I have plenty of time to finish them. But yes, the yarn is, let me see. It is Spun Right Round, hand dyed in Rochester, New York. It's their classic sock base. Here's the ball band. It's 100% superwash merino. It says ethically sourced from South America and museling free, which is great. Musing. mulesing free. Mulesing, that's a hard word to pronounce sometimes. I always have to be like, okay, it's mulesing. All right, yeah. So this is cool. I picked this up at a local D-stash and I paid $5 for it, which was awesome. There is a note on it that says it's a second skein and that the hot pink would bleed onto a lighter color. So I'm just gonna knit these, just the pink, and then I will just make sure that I probably don't use this in any like scrappy projects or anything where it could bleed. And I'll need to remember to like wash them on their own, but I think they'll be just fine. So I just finished the cuff. So I cast on 64 stitches on a 2.5 mm needle. This is 20 rounds of 2x2 ribbing. And I just started the first few rows of the leg. Since I know I probably won't be able to use this in any other scrappy projects, I'm gonna try and use as much of it as I can. So I'll probably knit the leg to at least 6 inches. Or I could make these a little bit shorter and then do a pair of like shorties too. Maybe that would be a better way to use all the yarn. I might do that instead. So I might just knit these to like 3 or 4 inches and then see if I can get a pair of like true shorties as well. I just want to use as much of it as I can since, like I said, I don't think I'll be able to use it in any scrappy projects and I don't want to waste it. So yeah, that is my new hot pink sock. The little stitch marker is one that my sister made for me. Has a little turquoise bead on it. Yeah, this yarn's great. I love it. It just makes me happy to work on these. So yeah, I just cast those on this morning. Not too much to show there yet. I don't know what to do with my whips today. All right. And then I cast on another pair of socks this morning because I also needed another DK weight pair. I had caked up this skein a couple of weeks ago with the intention of this being my new car knitting, but I've been working on a different project for that instead. So let me show you the yarn. It is this beautiful pink and yellow skein. It is like light pink and yellow and golden yellow, and there's even like little bits of like a more pinky purple. And I picked this up at Moon and Yarn Craft Room in Pittsburgh. I happened to be in Pittsburgh visiting friends for the weekend of their grand opening. So we stopped in there, and this skein was in a bin of the owner, I think her name is Brianna. She had like a bin of her like personal D-stash yarn in the shop, and I picked this up for like 10 bucks from that bin. It is Space Cadet. And there's a little spaceship. This color is, the base is Oriana. It's fingering weight yarn. It says Oriana is a name sometimes thought to be related to the constellation Orion, the hunter. 90% superwash wool, 10% nylon, which is cool. So I guess all their bases are like related to stars because it's like a space themed company. This is a spring 2021 limited edition color called Baroque. And I am just obsessed with this. I don't knit with a lot of yellow. If you've been here for a while, you've probably never seen me knitting with yellow before, especially these more like orangey yellows. But this yarn reminded me A, of Pink Lemonade, which I love, but B, of the rosy maple moth, which I do not like bugs in general, but this is the cutest little bug that ever lived. I'm gonna put some little pictures in. It's just so cute. I've seen them in person a couple of times in North Carolina at our friend's cabin, and they're just so adorable. And it made me think of that, so I had to buy it. And actually it's too late for this year. We're not really doing much for Halloween this year, but next year I think I might go as a rosy maple moth. Minimalist Machinist, that's her Instagram username. She does a lot of really cool work, but she just designed a like moth wing cape sewing pattern that everyone is like customizing to be specific types of moths, and they're so cool. So I feel like that would be a very cute and easy like Halloween costume maybe for next year. Just get like a pink dress and make like the cute capelet and then get some little like furry, I don't know, I feel like it would be cute. Anyway, so I cast on this sock this morning as well, and I'm knitting this one DK, so I'm again holding the inner and outer pole strands of the ball together, And I'm just gonna knit a plain vanilla stockinette DK weight sock this time. So again, I just have the cuff. So you can see I'm getting some sections of more solid yellow, some more marled sections, and then some sections of more solid pink. So I'll be interested to see how this one continues knitting up. It looks like it might end up being kind of a stripy pooling, but we will see. So again, same. This for the DK, I am loosely basing it off of Summerly Knits Thick Mist socks, which are in the same sock set as the Thick Mist reverse socks that I showed you in the finished object section. But this is I think these are 3.5s. Yeah, these are US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. And I cast on 48 stitches, which I think is the adult medium. I always use DPNs to knit my socks. I know a lot of people are not a fan of DPNs. I never learned magic loop. I just learned DPNs, and that's what I'm comfortable with. So I also have a hard time with 9-inch circulars. So if you see me knitting socks, they're most likely going to be on DPNs just because that's what I'm used to. But yeah, so I knit 2 sock cuffs this morning and now I have these 2 vanilla sock projects on the go. So it's nice just to have those to be able to grab when I need like some really simple knitting or like decompressive knitting, something that's not like heavy or has a lot of different colors or is hard on my hands, just something pretty mindless. Those are my go-tos. Okay, I also have a couple of hats that I'm working on. I feel like I've been knitting a lot of hats recently, and I guess that always happens, like right before winter, I get in the hat zone. But this first one, I think is a new cast on since I last was on here. Oh yeah, because on the last episode, I showed you I had started the sea glass hat for my friend's son, and I was gonna frog it because of, I was getting holes where the magic knots were. And that just felt like I didn't feel good about giving something that was gonna get holes in it to like a toddler. So I went stash diving and I found this cake of mystery yarn. I think it's superwash wool. It's similar, it's definitely not as like totally soft as Spin Cycle. It is still very soft. I don't think it's Spin Cycle. It doesn't have the same feel as that, but it is the same kind of like barber pole color changing yarn. And my friend's favorite color is yellow, and this has quite a bit of yellow in it, so I thought that would be good. And just lots of like blue and like raspberry colors, so I thought that would be pretty for her son. So I picked this up and I just decided to knit Pearl Soho's classic ribbed hat. I have not knit this pattern before, but it is a free pattern. I'll make sure to link it below. And I had her measure his head to make sure I was knitting the right size because I probably would have just impulsively cast on like the kid or the baby size. The child is 1 year old basically. But after measuring his head, we are knitting the adult small. So definitely would recommend measuring whoever you're making this hat for to check the size. He would have fit like, his head measurement was like the largest one in the kid size that was recommended, but it was, you know, the adult small size, he was like towards the lower range. So I decided to knit the adult small with the hope that he has room to grow into it. So I've cast that on and knit a couple of inches, and here's what I have. So hopefully you can see the color changing effect of the yarn. So it started with this more like yellow and brown, and then we got this really pretty teal stripe, a little bit more of the like raspberry, there's like a lighter purple, and then it's going back into the yellow. And it looks like we're going into some more like oranges and yellows soon there. So yeah, basically since it's a free pattern, you just cast on the correct amount of stitches, and then I think this one is recommended to knit for like 7.5 inches. And then you start your decreases, and I think it's a single folded brim. Sorry, I have like yarn fuzz on my face. So yeah, working away on that. It definitely looks like it will fit him. It's not huge. I think it might be a little roomy at first, but like I said, I'm hoping he'll have room to grow into it and use it for a few more years to come. So yeah, nothing too crazy about this one. Like I said, this is mystery yarn. I got this online from a secondhand art supply store. I think this one was from Make and Mend, which I will link below. And yeah, fun, quick hat project. I'm hoping I will maybe be able to knock this out this weekend. Tomorrow, I'm going to hang out with my sister at a market that she's vending at for most of the day, and I'm just there for moral and emotional support, so I'll probably bring a couple of smaller projects and hopefully be able to get a lot of work done on them. Oh, here's another stitch marker she made for me, my sister. I love these little ones for like hats and socks, and this is the same kind that I will be doing. I have a set of these in the giveaway for later today. Okay, that's hat number 1. Hat number 2. This has been my car knitting recently. This is my WestKnits project bag. I also got this at the Moon and Yarn craft room opening in Pittsburgh. I really like this bag a lot. It's been getting tossed around in my car for months and it looks really good still, so that's a good sign. I have made quite a bit of progress on this. So here it is. It's more hot pink. Imagine. Yeah, so this is the Robin Beanie by Sari Nordland. It's a 2x2 ribbed hat. It's actually started from the top down and it has these really pretty increases. And then you just knit to the desired length. I will probably knit this one to about 11 inches and then hope, like, it's a super wash, so I should be able to get another inch or so blocked out of it. And then it'll have a single turn up. It sounded like you said a single turnip. A single turn up brim. I don't have stitch stoppers on this, so I'm trying to be careful not to drop any stitches here, but I'm knitting this with leftover yarn from my hot pink linto sweater. So the mohair is Pearl Soho Tussock in the color Pink Joy. I really like this mohair. I would definitely buy that mohair again. It's really nice. And then the fingering weight yarn is Kelborn Wool's Perennial, and I think the color is just pink. So I'm holding those, and this is what I made my linto out of, my hot pink linto, earlier this year. And I had quite a bit left over, and every time I wear that sweater, my boss is like, I'm obsessed with that color. I want it. So I am using it, the leftovers, to make this hat for her for Christmas. And I think I only have like another couple of inches that I need to knit on it. See, like this one looks small, but the 2x2 rib's so stretchy. So I was knitting on this at our last craft night at the beer garden, which I'll talk more about at the end. But I got a lot done on it. I definitely made a few like oopses because I wasn't paying full attention. Like there's a couple, I don't know if you're probably not gonna be able to see that. Like there's a couple places like right here where I only caught the mohair and I didn't catch the fingering weight yarn, and it almost looks like there's a hole. So at the end, if that's really obvious, I might go back in and like just like duplicate stitch with the fingering weight yarn to like strengthen it, and that won't be a big deal. So yeah, I'm hoping I can finish this one tomorrow as well. So hopefully I'll have a couple more finished hats for next time. And then I'll probably have to cast on another one because I have some more hat yarn set aside. So 2 pairs of socks, 2 hats. I still have 1 sweater that's a new cast on, and then the WestKnits MKAL. So I cast on a Ranunculus, my first one. I know it's like the world's most popular knitting pattern. I had not tried it yet. And I purchased some Nutidin yarn in a D-stash a couple of months ago, and I knew I wanted to make a ranunculus with it. I've seen a few people doing this recently. I think Knit and Grace, what is her name? I'm blanking on her actual name, but the Knit and Grace podcast, she recently knit a Nutidin ranunculus in a very similar color, so I knew I would like the look of it. But I was on the hunt for mohair to hold with it, because most people either hold it double or hold it with mohair. And I should say what Nutidin is. So it is Swedish unspun yarn. here is mine. It's the same color as that on my wall. It's really beautiful. Just like a mauvey pink. I've used quite a bit of it already, but I only have 2 plates. So I knew I wouldn't have enough for a sweater if I had to hold it double. And it's gonna be pushing it even for the ranunculus, holding it with mohair. My other cake is bigger, so I'm hoping it'll be okay. My plan is to just knit the body to the correct length and then knit the sleeves as long as I can. But yeah, so I was looking for mohair that I could hold with this that would be like the perfect complement for it. And I talked a little bit about that on the last episode because I purchased something at the wool gathering that I hoped would work, but I decided I didn't really like it and used it for something else. But I did end up finding something. And actually, let me grab this. Okay, so again, the same person I bought the Nutidin from, their D-Stash, they were having a sale on all their D-Stash yarns, and I picked up this mohair from them. So I got 2 skeins of this. It's Glam Yarns from Michigan's Upper Peninsula, 72% mohair, 28% silk, and the color is Fig. And it is just this really pretty, like dusty purple with little hints of like yellow and pink. And that I thought was like perfect to pair with my Nutidin. So I did want something that wasn't exactly the same because I wanted to add a little bit of depth to the color, but I think these are very complementary. So let me show you how it's knitting up. Here's what I have. My friend Jess, hi Jess if you're watching, we had a little ranunculus cast on party over Zoom last week. Yeah, last week I think. Sorry, it's kind of hard to hold. It's like light as air, it doesn't weigh anything. But hopefully you can see the really pretty depth of color that I'm getting in there by holding those 2 yarns together. I have like 9 or 10 more rows in the yoke. And the yoke is really pretty. The lace is very easy and interesting. You get like a row or 2 of interest, a couple rows of stockinette. There's some eyelets here. And then I think there's just a couple more rows of this like dip stitch. And then the yoke will be done. This is an interesting pattern. I have to say, I kind of struggled with it at the beginning. And I was like, why does everyone like this so much? I think it's just such a different format from a lot of the patterns that we're used to, but I do get it. I totally understand why people love it. So basically, all of the sizes knit the yoke the same, and then once you're done with the yoke, there are raglan increases that are size specific. So you can kind of just start and then figure out like what size you want the body to be later. I got hung up on the collar. So there are 2 different cast on options for the collar. There's one for like a more closely fitting neck, and there's one for a wider neckline. In all the pattern photos, both of the necklines look very wide. So I started out trying to do the more narrow neck cast on, but you only cast on 30 stitches, and I was having to do that on DPNs on size 10. And I was like struggling because this yarn weighs nothing and those DPNs are kind of heavy because they're big. So it was just kind of a mess. So I tried that. I worked through that, and I got to like the first couple rows of the lace while I was on the call with Jess, and it just didn't look good because also this is my first time using the Nutidin, and because it's unspun, it just pulls apart. I mean, the holding it with the mohair helps, but you have to be pretty careful about how you're pulling it off of the cake, or I think you need to like pre-wind your balls, which a lot of people do. So it was a combination of like adjusting to the pattern and adjusting to the new type of yarn. I ended up with a few spots where the Nutidin got too thin and it was kind of like a bald spot on the sweater. So I actually frogged everything that I had done during our call and started over the next day, which was funny because the next day Jess sent me a picture of hers and she was like done with the yoke already, like the next morning, and I was like, oh, I frogged mine. So I just restarted the other night and I'm much happier with this version. I switched to the wider neckline technique. Again, it is a paid for pattern, so I will try not to give away too much information. But I did switch to the wider neckline, and I think because this sweater is not going to weigh very much, it's not gonna like pull super wide, and if it does, I can just add elastic. But yeah, what else do I want to say? Oh, the other thing Jess and I were discussing was so there are short rows in the back for the back neck, but there are also short rows for the front neck. And what that does is create this like dip right here, because these are meant to look like necklaces on top of the sweater. And so there are short rows here to create this wedge to give it that more like drapey U-shaped look. It seems like a lot of people omit those because it is going to make the front neckline come up a little higher. I decided to include them just since this is my first time making it. I kind of wanted to stick to the pattern as written and just see how it turns out. So yeah, really happy with the color. Now that I've gotten a hang of using the Newton, I really like it. It's very soft, it smells amazing. And like I said, it's just fluffy and like light as air. I am loving it. This is honestly all I want to work on right now, but I have to finish the MKAL, and I'm going to. We're going to talk about that next. But yeah, there's a start to my first ever ranunculus. I'm curious, have you knit the ranunculus? It feels like I'm the last one knitting it. I know there's actually a couple of KALs right now going on of other people who like haven't knit the ranunculus or the love note yet, which I've also not knit the love note. I might cast one of those on soon too. I'm just kind of craving this more like quick, satisfying project right now, since I have some more long-term projects that I'm nearing the end of. I'm not going to show my tessellated pullover today because I haven't worked on it in the past 2 weeks. So still just needs one more sleeve and then a reassessment on the body length. And I think that's what's kind of putting me off of it. So I am going to finish that. It's just not the most exciting thing to me right now, but yeah, this is pretty exciting and I'm excited to keep working on it soon. So that is that. Okay, let me reorganize here. Okay, I'm getting ready to talk about the WestKnits MKAL. So if you do not want to see that, I'm going to be showing spoilers for completed clues 1 through 3, and I have started clue 4. So if you do not want to see that, skip ahead to this timestamp, and that is when it will be safe for you to rejoin us without seeing anything that you don't want to see. So let me show you my yarns first, then I will show you my progress. I have to remember all the names. So I bought a kit from, this is my first year participating in the MKAL. In my last video, I talked a little bit more about some of the drama that was like surrounding the first clue. I'm not going to get into that today. If you're interested, you can go back and watch the previous video. But clue 4 just came out on Thursday, so I am working away on that. And I purchased a kit from WestKnits website since it was my first year participating. I got Mamanoki yarns, and the colors are Strawberry Cream, which is this like really light purple with some kind of purple and pink speckles in it. Sorry, I just have like a handful of ball bands. The second one is Framboise, which is a brighter purpley pink. The fourth one is Grape, which is this one. And the darkest color is Cassis, which is this. This one's really pretty. It is a dusty purple, but then it has like, it actually does have specks of the brighter purple in it. I'm kind of into like, I'm having a mauve and purple moment right now, I guess. So yeah, that is my gradient. Let me show you what I have. It's getting a little big and unwieldy. Let me try and spread it out on the needles a bit. Okay, so I might stand up here. So my revised clue 1, I did the granny square, the crocheted granny square. I was inspired to do that by Yana from Finished Knitting Stories. So thanks, Yana. So it's the crochet granny square center, and then I knitted the garter stripe border. Clue 2, I'll just show this side. Clue 2 were the eyelet stripes. So this is also where I incorporated mohair. So there was an eyelet stripe, a garter ridge, an eyelet stripe, and you can see in the eyelet stripes, here I held like a white mohair, and here I held a multicolored suri. So that started building the shawl like out in both directions. And then clue 3 were the wing tips of the shawl. And that was probably my favorite section, even though it was quite time consuming. It's like, oh, not that big of a section, but it was a slow going stitch pattern. So it had like, oh yeah, look at the texture. It's really good. This was a cool like slip stitch pattern using all the colors and decreasing out to the tips. So you did that on both sides. And then that kind of created, it's so bunched up. That kind of started creating like more of a triangle shape, but it was flat on the bottom. So it was straight across the top, and then it came down, and then it was flat on the bottom. And now we are adding the border, which is a really cool dip stitch technique. So there you can see I just finished the first set of the dip stitches. So I guess it will actually be like this way. It's so hard to show right now. So yeah, the border goes like along the long sides and the bottom. Yeah, there, hopefully you can see that. Oh my God, it's impossible to show. Okay, here's the border. This is upside down, but you can get the idea. So you start with color A, then we're doing the dip stitch, and there will be, I think the pattern has like only one, like it does one color, each color one time. So the border is not super wide. It's like maybe only this wide. I have quite a bit of yarn left. So there's also an optional fringe at the end, which I would like to do. So we'll see. I saw one person's version where they kind of like did their border stripes to the darkest color and then like went back out to the lightest color. So it kind of came like in and out. We will see. This border is massive. Every row is over 500 stitches. The dip stitch rows are over 1,000 stitches. So while it is not huge and it's working up like relatively quickly, it's still going to take a very long time just to knit it to pattern. So I'm gonna knit it to the recommended length and then reassess how much more time I want to put into it and how big, like how much yarn I have left. But yeah, it's getting there. It's gotten big. So this is the top, and then you can see maybe this is the bottom where the border is starting, and then that'll go up the sides to the wingtips. So yeah, we're getting there. It's really pretty. I'm very happy with it. I'm glad I stuck with it. But this is massive and it's a lot of knitting. And it's definitely been taking up most, if not all, of my knitting time this month, which I knew it would, and I was prepared for that. But, you know, I'm missing my other projects, so I'm ready to be done with this and get back to some other knitting. I'm going to try and work on that later today and tomorrow, and hopefully finish it soon. Okay, and if you're rejoining us, we're done talking about the MKAL. I am now going to announce the giveaway winner. So I recently hit 500 subscribers, and now we're actually at like 630. It's so great. So happy to have you all here. Just thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. I really didn't know what to expect when I started this, but it's been so much fun and I really enjoyed talking to you all and getting to know you. So I wanted to do a little giveaway for 500 subscribers. So I am giving away this Earl Grey Fiber Co. sock set. It is their Darjeeling sock set. It is 75/25 merino nylon. The colorway is Sugar on Snow. So I'm giving away this. And then my sister made a set of matching stitch markers. So these are the little small stitch markers, just like the ones I was using. I just covered them up instead of my own face. Here we go. And they match the yarn. She made them specifically to match the yarn. So to be entered to win, you had to like and subscribe and leave a comment about your favorite fall tradition. And I used a random comment picker to announce the winner, or to pick the winner. And the winner is Carol Webster. So thank you so much, Carol, for your lovely comment. Carol said her favorite fall tradition is walking through her neighborhood and seeing all the leaves, and I agree, that is one of my favorites as well. So thank you so much to everyone that entered. Carol, if you could send me an email at sarahrebelart@gmail.com or reach out to me on Instagram through direct message, then we can get that all set up and I will get it sent out to you as soon as possible. So all that information is linked down below in the description box as well. And my Instagram is Sarah_Seams if you prefer to contact me that way. But yeah, please reach out to me so I can get your address and get these sent out to you. Congratulations. I hope that you will enjoy them and make some cute socks or whatever you want to make. All right, I'm gonna pause here really quickly and be back with a few acquisitions. Okay, so I do have a few acquisitions to share with you today. First up, on the last episode, I was wearing my first Linto sweater that I knit made out of Camellia Fiber Co.'s Yak DK. That one's the color chocolate. It's like a really pretty rich brown. And I wore it because they were accepting orders, pre-orders for that yarn base again. And it's one of my favorites that I've ever used. And I'm not sure if they're still accepting orders or not. I will check and link them below if they are. But I did put in an order for another Linto quantity or similar sweater or something simple in that vein that has a pretty open gauge, doesn't use a ton of yarn. And I got some of the color Matcha. So, oh, it's so pretty. This is that same base. It's the Yak DK. It is 65% merino wool, 20% silk, 15% yak. And it is beautiful. This is the color Matcha. To me, it's much darker than actual matcha, at least the ones that I've had, but it is a beautiful, dark, soft green. And you in person, you can really see the yak fiber coming through. Like there's a little bit of a brown undertone to it. Maybe that comes through, but it's so glossy and beautiful. So I have 3 skeins of this. Oh, it's so pretty. And I honestly might just make another Linto because that is like one of my favorite sweaters to wear. And it's a pretty quick, satisfying knit as well. So I got that. I showed you the mohair that I bought from the D-stash to use in my Ranunculus, and I got a couple of other things from that D-stash as well. There's gonna be a little bit of crinkling, I'm sorry. I had been eyeing this fade set in this person's D-stash for like months. I almost bought it a couple of times previously, but then they were doing this extra sale on their D-stash and I was like, I have to have it. Because I just kept going back and looking at it. And it is this. Sorry, it's in the bag. I'm not going to take it out. I hope you can still see the colors okay. But it is this fade set that goes from this like olive green to this like pinky purple. And the colors in these are just gorge. They are so, so pretty. Maybe I will take one out so you can see. Sorry for crinkling. Okay, so it is Tennis Fiber Arts Pure Wash Worsted. They're 100% organic merino. I think it's super wash. It says treated. Yeah, so they're worsted. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. Okay, I have to take them all out so you can see the colors. I'm sorry. So that's the darkest one. And then that fades to this one. Look at the speckles. Oof. These are so pretty. I have no idea what I'm gonna make with them. Maybe like a shawl. This one is more of like a seafoamy light blue. Then we start getting into the pink. So pretty. And then the last one is, oh my God, it's so pretty. Okay, yes, so this is the fade set. Let me know if you have any pattern recommendations for like a worsted weight fade project. Oh my God, would these be really pretty in a night shift? I'm gonna need to go do some research, some pattern research after this, but please do let me know if you have suggestions. I need to find like a really good project to use these in. I like just cannot wait to use them. And then more crinkling, sorry. The last thing I got from that D-stash was 10 skeins of this yarn, which is a wool balance, which I'm not sure if they still make it anymore. It is beautiful. It's a 50-50 cotton wool blend, and it has this barber pole like marling of the lighter and darker berry shades. This is just a really good color for me, and I love this. It is worsted weight. I thought it would be perfect for Andrea Mowry's new Weekender Crew, but that has a smaller gauge. So I don't know, I might try swatching for that and like adjusting some numbers and knitting it anyway, like knitting a smaller size in the heavier yarn, because I think this would be perfect, and I love that color and that sweater. So yeah, that's my tentative plan for that. I have a ton of it, so also my Nicole, if you happen to be watching, hello. Nicole comes to our craft nights that we've been having at Kamut Beer Garden. Last one, she was wearing this absolutely amazing Hannah sweater by Knitting for Olive, and it was this beautiful like dusty purple. Here's a picture of the Hannah sweater so you can see. And I was like, I have to make that. I literally have to. It's so beautiful, and I ordered yarn like the next day. So I got the Knitting for Olive yarn. I went with a slightly darker purple than what Nicole did, but I got Dusty Violet. So I think Nicole's version was like the artichoke, like light artichoke or something. And it's a little bit brighter. It's a little bit more of like a lavender color, but this, I was like, this like gray purple is gonna be it for me. It's a little bit more purple than it's showing up on the screen. And there's also the matching mohair. So you hold 2 strands of mohair with 1 strand of Knitting for Olive merino to achieve an Aran weight. And the sweater looks like it's knit like sideways. So I'm excited. Nicole said it knits up super fast. The yarn came really quickly. So I think that's just gonna be a beautiful, like easy throw on over anything kind of sweater. So I'm excited. I have so many sweaters that I want to cast on right now. It's crazy. Like I am like in sweater quantity yarn heaven right now. So I need to just start knitting some of them. Okay, last thing. Why can't we just knit all the time, right? Okay, last thing. I just got the new Pom Pom magazine. It came in the mail yesterday, and this is a good one. You guys, look at this cover image. The skirt, the sweater, it's all very good. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the patterns I'm most interested in. The first one is Anju, which is named after the pear because of the color of this version. But I really love this blue version. And this is a slip stitch pattern. It's really beautiful. The whole issue is called monochrome. The idea is, you know, the garment is one color or shades of one color. So that one I love. It's also Aran weight, I believe. The cover sweater, I mean, those colors are so good. And it has a split hem, which I love. This one is called the Kaluna. I love this sample. I just love the way that one fits them, and like the split hem. I love, if I made this, I would probably bring the split hem up even more. I love a split hem that hits me like right at my natural waist. I just find that to be so comfortable to wear, especially with like leggings or high-waisted pants or skirt. It's so pretty. I also love this little scarf, the red wear. It is, I believe, in Tarja, but I could be, maybe it's modular, I'm not sure, but it's really cute. I love the way it's styled here. It's just small. I love these colors. It's garter. I'm gonna have to cast one of those on, maybe with some scraps. It's very, very cute. And then last, these socks. So these are the Thulite socks. When I saw this picture, I wasn't like entirely sold on them, but when I saw this picture and saw that they're like patchworky, I'm now sold on them. I would like to knit these. And I love the tonal colors, but I think they would be really cute and contrasting too. They're just top-down colorwork socks. Very cute. Definitely adding those to the queue. There's also a really good article in here about Manos del Uruguay. Here's a nice spread with all the patterns from this issue. This scarf is super interesting. I don't think it's something I would wear, so I probably won't knit it, but it's very cool. Yeah, this is a good issue. Definitely recommend picking that one up. Okay, so lastly, I was just gonna chat for a couple minutes. So what's up with me lately? Not too much. It's definitely been, things are slowing down a little bit. You know, I feel like this summer was like go, go, go. It was like so busy, but it's definitely starting to slow down a bit. So last weekend, we went down to Hocking Hills for the day, which is about an hour drive southwest of Columbus. It is a beautiful area. It's a state park. It's stunning. Like it's sometimes we are like, oh, Ohio's so flat. There's like nothing pretty here, but like Hocking Hills is really beautiful. If you ever get a chance to visit, I recommend it. My parents won a 3-night stay in the new lodge that they just built down there in like a raffle. So me and Troy and my sister just went down for the day to check out the area and hang out with them, and we had a really good time. Also, yeah, I've been hosting the craft nights twice a month, open craft nights at Gamut Beer Garden, which has been super fun. The first few have gone really well. There's been a lot of different crafts, which is great to see, like not just knitting, not just fiber arts. There have been a few people making jewelry, people just coloring in a coloring book. It's been a good time. And the bar is just so great and accommodating, and it's been very fun. But last week we had a like seasonal craft night. So this is in addition to the open craft nights. A few times a year, the bar is going to kind of sponsor like a seasonal craft night. So we did pumpkin carving, and that was super fun. You know, just to see, that was much less like we're all sitting together and doing crafts, and much more just like anyone at the bar was like free to carve a pumpkin. And it was so great to see. I'll put a picture in of the ones that we carved at my table. It was just really fun. We all went and like ate dinner together and carved pumpkins, and it was really fun. So that's been great. What else? Next weekend, I'm going to a bachelorette party in Florida, so I will get some good travel knitting in. My plan for that is, so for Christmas, I am knitting my sister, she knows about this, so it's not a spoiler, this like shrug. It's the Scribble cardigan by, I'm blanking on the designer's name. I'll share more about it once I cast it on, but it's this all over lace, like super cropped long sleeve shrug. And she wanted it in linen. It's this like bright cobalt linen. So since we're going to a hot weather area, I think I'm gonna take that as my travel / bachelorette party knitting, because I really need to get going on it. And when I'm here and it's fall and it's cool, I want to be knitting with wool right now. But when I'm in Florida poolside, I think linen is going to be just the thing. So that's my plan, is to take that with me on my trip and start working on that. Aside from that, like I said, I want to cast on like 900 things, and I don't know what to do next because there's so many that I'm really excited about and I just can't pick. So we'll see. It'll be a surprise to me as well. Last thing, little PSA, we have a really important election coming up in Ohio on Tuesday. So I just wanted to say, if you're in Ohio, make sure you vote on Tuesday. It's really important. Let's all get our stickers together, and you know, I'm sure lots of other states are having elections too. So make sure you know what's on your ballot and make sure you go out and vote. And that is all I have for you this time. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who participated in the giveaway. If you like the video, if you like the channel, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel so we can continue growing our little community here. And until next time, in about 2 weeks or so, I hope you get lots of craft time in, and I will see you then. Bye.